I'm 92 years old. I was married to my husband Walter for 63 years. He passed 4 years ago. And I need to tell you something that every married person needs to hear, but nobody wants to say. The emptiness you feel in your marriage is not coming from your partner. It's coming from you. And until you understand that, no amount of therapy or date nights or communication exercises will fix a thing. I know this because I spent 15 years blaming Walter for something that was never his fault. 15 years. From about age 38 to age 53, the best years of my life wasted on a lie I told myself every single day. The lie was this: if Walter were different, I would be happy. If he talked more, if he was more romantic, if he planned surprises, if he noticed when I changed my hair, if he complimented me without being asked, if he were more ambitious, if he were more present, if he were more, just more of everything, more of something. I didn't even know what I wanted him to be more of. I just knew that whatever he was, it wasn't enough. And I looked at other women's husbands, and I thought they had what I was missing. Barbara's husband brought her flowers. Donna's husband took her dancing. Sue's husband wrote her little notes and left them in her purse. And I thought if Walter did those things, this ache inside me would go away. He wouldn't have needed to do much. That's the part that kills me now. I wasn't asking for the moon. I was asking for small things. And he didn't give them because Walter was not built that way. He loved me in the way he knew how, quietly, steadily, without performance. He showed up every day, he worked, he was faithful, he was kind to our children. He fixed things before I asked. He never once raised his voice to me in 63 years. But I wanted flowers, and he gave me a fixed roof. I wanted notes in my purse, and he gave me snow tires put on before the first storm. I wanted romance, and he gave me reliability. And I couldn't see that reliability was his romance, that every tire changed and every gutter cleaned, and every morning where he made coffee before I woke up was a love letter written in action instead of words. I was empty, and I pointed at Walter and said, "You are the reason." Here's what actually happened at 53. The thing that woke me up. My mother died. And in the weeks after her death, I fell apart completely. I couldn't cook, I couldn't clean, I couldn't get dressed some days. I sat on the couch and cried and felt like the world had ended because the woman who raised me was gone. Walter didn't say the right things. He never said the right things. He didn't hold me and whisper that it would be okay. He didn't quote poetry or say something beautiful about grief. What he did was this: he took over everything. every single thing. He cooked meals I couldn't eat and put them in the refrigerator wrapped in foil with instructions. He drove our youngest to school every morning without being asked. He called my sister every day to check on her because he knew I couldn't. He sat next to me on the couch every night and said nothing. Absolutely nothing. He just sat there. For 3 weeks he sat next to me in silence every night from 7 until I fell asleep. Then he carried me to bed every night. At 57 years old, the man picked me up and carried me to bed because I'd fallen asleep on the couch crying about my mother. And one night, somewhere around week 3, I woke up being carried, and I looked at his face, and he was concentrating, brow tight, jaw set, making sure he didn't bump me on the doorframe. And I saw him. I actually saw him for the first time in 15 years. Not the Walter I wished he was, the Walter he actually was. A man who couldn't write a love note to save his life, but would carry his wife to bed every night for a month without being asked and without expecting thanks. And I realized the emptiness was never about him. It was about me. I had been looking at my marriage like a mirror, expecting to see myself reflected back as someone special, someone adored, someone worthy. And when the mirror didn't show me what I wanted, I blamed the mirror. But that's not what a partner is. A partner is not a mirror. A partner is not there to reflect you back to yourself. A partner is there to walk beside you. And Walter had been walking beside me for decades while I complained that he wasn't facing me. The emptiness was mine. It was a hole that existed before Walter and would have existed with any man. It was the hole of not knowing my own worth, of needing external validation to feel loved, of needing flowers and notes and words because I didn't believe I was lovable unless someone was constantly proving it. Walter couldn't fill that hole. No partner can, because the hole is yours. It lives inside you. It was carved by your childhood or your insecurities or your unrealistic expectations or the fairy tales you were told about what love is supposed to look like. And you brought that hole into your marriage and handed it to another human being and said, "Fill this." And when they couldn't, you called it a bad marriage. It wasn't a bad marriage. It was an unfillable expectation placed on a person who was already giving you everything they had. After my mother died and I finally saw Walter clearly, I stopped waiting for him to prove his love and started noticing where it already was. It was in the coffee. It was in the snow tires. It was in the silence on the couch. It was in the arms that carried me to bed. It was everywhere. It had been everywhere the whole time. I just couldn't see it because I was looking for flowers, and he was speaking in fixed roofs. The last 10 years of our marriage were the best, the absolute best. Not because Walter changed. He didn't change one bit. Because I changed. I stopped needing him to perform love and started recognizing how he lived it. And once I recognized it, I felt more loved than any woman with 1,000 bouquets. Here is what I need you to hear. If your marriage feels empty right now, before you blame your partner, before you go to therapy to fix them, before you start looking at what other people's husbands or wives do that yours doesn't, I need you to sit with one question. Is the emptiness coming from what they're not giving me, or from what I'm not seeing? Because 9 times out of 10, your partner is loving you, right now, today, in ways you are not recognizing because it doesn't match the picture in your head. Put the picture down. Open your eyes and look at what's actually there. The coffee they made this morning before you woke up. The errand they ran without being asked. The fact that they are still here, still showing up, still trying. In a world where leaving is easy and staying is hard, they are still in the room with you. That is not nothing. That might be everything. Walter made my coffee every morning for 63 years. I didn't thank him for the first 30. I spent those years wanting flowers instead. I would give everything I have for one more cup of that coffee. Don't wait 30 years to see what's already in front of you. See it now, while they're still here to make it.